Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We'll cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, as you guys know, the NBA playoffs have kicked off. They've been very, very interesting, some of these series. I think the most interesting series that we got going right now is the series between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. Both games have been won with scores that with a point differential of less than 5 points. So they're very, very entertaining, very close matchups. On the side of the Lakers, however, they haven't been really close. The Lakers lost the first game by 22, then they won the next game, I believe, by 9. The Oklahoma City Thunder have been blown. I think they beat the Memphis Grizzlies by a combined 73 points in 2 games. 73 points in 2 games. So that one isn't even a contest whatsoever. But nevertheless, the Lakers went into game 2 yesterday and against the Memphis Grizzlies, and they were able to get a 94-85 victory. So they won by 9 points. And in that game, for the Lakers side, LeBron had 21 points on 42% shooting with 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Who else? Luka Doncic had 31, 12, and 11 on 45% shooting. Rui Hachimura chipped in 11, and Austin Reeves chipped in 31, and all of that. So they won the game, and it was pretty decisive. It wasn't as close as the score looked at the end of the game. But going into these playoffs, we've been hearing, the Luka and LeBron have saved the league. Not Luka, going to the Lakers have saved the league. Some people believe that it was a move to boost the NBA ratings. As you guys know, the Lakers and LeBron are talked about 24/7 every single second of the day, right? That's how everything is marketed. So one would think that given the fact that the Lakers are discussed so much and LeBron James is discussed so much, we would think that, this is the biggest draw in the NBA, right? This is the thing that everybody wants to see, given the fact that Luka had the most jersey sales this year. And what's crazy is that a lot of those sales took place after that trade went down, right? So this is what we would think. But then something interesting happened this morning. I was going to the internet and I came across a pretty interesting report here that actually shocked me. It says NBA playoffs deliver most watch opening weekend in 25 years. And when I read that, I was like, wow, this is pretty incredible. And immediately the thought that came to my mind was, well, this has to be the Luka Doncic, LeBron James effect, right? Given the fact that you paired these two megastars together, they're playing on the Lakers, the trade that was so big, all of that stuff. I was like, this has to be, these guys have to be the one driving these views. But it turns out I was 100% wrong. And you actually won't believe the teams that were actually in the team that was actually driving the most views with the most people watching. It's going to surprise you. But before we even get into this report here, today's video is brought to you by a sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60+ states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. For example, I am super excited about this Game 2 matchup between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. Here's what I like to do. I turn on all-in pricing so I know exactly what I'm paying for upfront. I check Game Time Picks to find out the most valuable deals. And finally, I pick the ticket I want. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. Okay, so let's continue on with this report. It says, the NBA regular season got off to a slow start rating-wise, which triggered significant conversation about the league's declining viewership. The same can't be said about the NBA playoffs. The opening weekend of the 2025 NBA postseason drew 4.4 million viewers across 8 games on ESPN and TNT platforms, the most watched opening weekend in 25 years, the league announced on Tuesday. It's also up 17% compared to last year. It's worth noting that the NBA's Sunday slate fell on Easter. The 3 most watched games were all on ABC, the NBA's lone national over-the-air broadcast partner. ABC's games averaged 5.6 million viewers, led by the 6.69 million who watched the defending champion Celtics defeat the Magic. That game peaked at 8 million viewers, which tipped off at 3 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. The 6-game slate on ESPN platforms, which included the 3 ABC games and 3 ESPN games, averaged 4.5 million viewers, the highest in the network's history. TNT averaged 4.13 million viewers for its 2-game slate Sunday night. The Heat, Cavs, Warriors, Rockets up 23% from last year. The league's regular season viewership numbers finished down 2% after doing double-digit declines through the first 2 months. ABC ended the season with 10% growth, but cable channels drove the dip with ESPN's exclusive games down 7% and TNT games down 8%. On top of the dwindling cable subscribers, cable channels do not have exclusive broadcasting rights in local markets. The NBA will add up NBC and Amazon's as television partners next year, losing TNT in the process as the league's new 11-year, $77 billion media deal kicks in. So this is startling, right? This is startling to me. It turns out that the Boston Celtics and the Magic were the game that had an average of, it peaked at 8 million viewers. The Boston Celtics. Now, it shouldn't be a surprise because the Boston Celtics, I think the Boston Celtics have one more championship than the Lakers. I think they have 17 to the Lakers 16. I don't remember the number, but it's like separated by 1. And the Boston Celtics have a massive fan base. But the part that surprises me is that given the fact that we don't talk about the Celtics, they're not talked about really at all on TV, even though they're the defending champs, I'm still surprised to see that their game against the Magic, who is a team that's never talked about, had the most viewership. That's what really surprised me, right? That's what really, really, really surprised me, that so many people showed interest in the Boston Celtics. Now, it's also worth noting that yes, these viewership numbers are up, but overall, the NBA had better viewership numbers. Decades ago. They had better viewership numbers decades ago, and there's a reason for that, right? There's a legitimate reason for that. A lot of NBA fans have tapered off. A lot of people have been turned off by the product and the load management and the entitlement from the players, all of the nonsense surrounding, obviously, the political stance that's been injected into the sports. That's also turned off some other people as well. But nevertheless, I'm surprised to see this because I would have thought it would have been the Lakers. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about this report? Does it surprise you in any way? And how do you see this thing trending as the playoffs continue? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.